Hello and welcome to View from the Decks, the show where we take you on a journey down the Solent and examine the history of what we can see from the deck of the Steamship Shieldhall. Calshot is a small village located at the southwest corner of Southampton Water. Its associated spit is a key navigation point within the Solent itself. However, before 1539, very little is actually documented about the spit, probably because before then, the spit would disappear under high tide. In 1539, King Henry VIII ordered the construction of Calshot Castle due to the threat of overseas invasion. Calshot Castle was an optimal location to closely monitor and guard the Solent. Similar to Netley Castle we talked about in our episode about Netley, Calshot Castle was quickly constructed using rubble from the nearby Beaulieu Abbey that was also shut down during the dissolution of the monasteries. The spit was reinforced during the castle's construction to ensure that the fortification wouldn't suffer badly from erosion and vanish into the sea. The spit would soon become an even more substantial sandbank. In 1703, a great storm swept across the UK. Recognised in modern times as a cyclone, thousands of people were killed, both at land and at sea. Multiple ships were lost, large trees fell, and numerous structures across the country were damaged. However, so much sediment washed up on the spit, it no longer sat low in the water and resembled a shape similar to what it is today. As history marched on, Calshot Castle went through several owners and states of preparedness for international war, with the main threats being either the French, specifically the Revolution and Napoleon, or the Spanish, during the Spanish Succession. In 1895, with the possibility of French invasion being a real threat, a large gun battery was constructed just south of the main castle to defend the area in the event of invasion. It's also worth noting that around this time, specifically in 1842, the first mention of a lightship off of Calshot is mentioned in reports. In 1913, the Royal Flying Corps established and expanded their military presence on Calshot Spit. Their main focus was on the then experimental seaplane and how it could be applied for war. This military presence did come at a cost though. To make way for these expansions, including a narrow gauge railway, the former gun battery was completely demolished to make way for Sunderland Hangar, the largest building on the Spit, which was constructed in 1917 and still exists on the Spit to this day. When World War I erupted the following year, the Royal Naval Air Service quickly occupied the Spit and established several aircraft to defend the Solent against threats, as well as protecting all general shipping in the English Channel, namely from German U-boats. Also during the war, an iron-hulled lightship was constructed specifically for the purposes of being a dedicated lightship for Calshot Spit. The ship, called the LV-78, would go on to have a long career that would outlast both world wars. Towards the end of the First World War, the RAF was officially formed and subsequently took over all operations for the base at Calshot. In 1922, the base at Calshot Spit was officially renamed RAF Calshot. During the interwar period, RAF Calshot was dedicated to flying and testing experimental seaplanes. The RAF was even granted control of Calshot Castle, where it was converted into a naval school. Calshot was soon chosen to become the base for the Schneider Trophy UK team. The Schneider Trophy was an international race to develop the fastest seaplanes, and although the British had been competing to win the trophy since 1914, it was during the 1920s they seriously ramped up their game. The 1927 race saw the British company Supermarine enter the Supermarine S5. The S5 and its successor, the S6, would go on to win the Schneider Trophy consecutively until the UK won the trophy indefinitely in 1931. The lessons that Supermarine would take away from everything they built up to and including the S6 would give birth to one of the most important planes in British wartime history, the Supermarine Spitfire. Then, war erupted again. For World War II, the castle defences were expanded, and RAF Calshot became a mainstay for seaplanes, as the Spit became a major repair hub. Calshot even sent 5 planes to assist in the Dunkirk evacuations, before becoming involved in air-to-sea rescue operations. This was vital for providing assistance during the D-Day landings to downed planes. This wasn't the last time the planes would see action during conflict. As the Cold War became the next global situation, The Berlin crisis of 1948 demanded as much aerial support as possible, and all aircraft from RAF Calshot were sent across the channel to assist. The planes made multiple trips from Hamburg to the Berlin Lakes and back. They delivered over 1,000 deliveries into the trapped city before collecting injured citizens and airlifting them out. Around the same time, back at RAF Calshot, the narrow gauge railway cars were found to be in a state of extreme disrepair, and the narrow gauge railway was closed for good. Interestingly, one locomotive survives to this day as Douglas on the world famous Tallyllyn Railway in Wales. Fun fact, this very locomotive serves as the basis for Duncan, a character in the popular Railway series books and the Thomas the Tank Engine TV show. Aside from a few smaller events, the RAF base never saw conflict again and closed in 1961. The ownership of the Spit was leased to Hampshire County Council from Crown Estates in 1964, and redevelopment began to turn the Spit from an RAF base into an activities centre, with the RNLI setting up a base at the Spit in 1971 and the Coast Guard building a tower in 1973. The Spit quickly settled into what it has become today. The most recent chapter of the Spit's extended history started in 1987, when the LV-78 was formally decommissioned. She sailed to the Ocean Village Marina in Southampton, which was her home for a while, before moving to near the Ocean Terminal. Then, in 2019, moving to her final home at the Solent Sky Museum. Visitors to the Solent Sky Museum would be hard-pressed to miss this magnificent vessel as they approach. She is currently undergoing restoration, with plans to convert her into part of the museum's cafe. Calshot Spit's history has been long and war-riddled, but the Spit still writes its history to this day. With the nearby Fawley Power Station being demolished to make way for development, it seems Calshot may have the potential to expand or regenerate its facilities in the near future. Steamship Shieldhall always passes near to the Spit as we sail down Southampton water. The view of the low shingle bank is unlike anything else in the Solent. You can almost picture the seaplanes, sat on the banks, waiting to be deployed at a moment's notice. The historic castle still stands proud, and on sunny days, you can often wave to beachgoers and campers as they line the Spit. Book your tickets on board the Steamship Shieldhall today, and we hope to welcome you on board soon.